right, so if you are a District P7 coordinator, this video is for you.
Just you.
Just you alone. But first of all, we want to say thank you for being a Project 7 coordinator in your district. Whether you're a P7 coordinator or a P7 CMI coordinator, thank you for saying yes to this.
Yes.
We believe in you. Obviously, your district believes in you. And so we believe that you're going to do great things in your district. Maybe you're wondering, what do I do as a P7 coordinator? And that's a great question to ask. And so on top of saying thank you, we want to say here's a few things that you can do. First of all, you are the champion in your district. Kids send us messages every week on Instagram. How do I start a P7 club? How do I grow a P7 club? And we're happy to answer those questions. But if they can come to you and they see you as a source of information, we want to arm you with all of the information that you possibly would need. And so our website has a lot of resources on there. We would encourage you to familiarize yourself with the process of starting P7 clubs, the resources that are available right on the website, so that you know how to answer some of the basic questions. As always, feel free to email us or DM us if you have any questions about the process or about the resources currently available. But if you can be the champion, you can be the source of information for your kids in your district, that is huge. Secondly, one opportunity, and I'll turn this over to you in a second, but when we go to district events, kids see district leadership as like, these are the most amazing people that I want to be like. And they see the youth president, the youth committee, the ministry directors, and they're like, those are people that I want to be at. So your example at district events matter.
It does. So Matt Johnson once gave me, we were talking about something like this, and he said exactly what you just said, but he said this is the opportunity for every district youth worker at youth convention, and to model the behavior. But at the end of the day, it's the 5-minute conversations that we talked about earlier. In those moments where you're talking to a student who may be struggling with their P7 club, or maybe they've lost a little bit of faith, or maybe they're not getting the support that they think they should be getting. How you as a P7 coordinator in your district handle those moments and those conversations can alter somebody's destiny.
Yeah.
And I think that and that sounds like a big weight to carry someone's destiny, but the reality of it is that as a P7 coordinator, you are essentially the pipeline for discipleship in your community, in the district, in the community, to begin that. Because the youth president, they want to have their hands on things, but as the P7 coordinator, you're the one that is calling sectional youth directors and youth presidents to talk and to say, hey, what's working in your section? What's working in section 2, 3, or 4? And as you're having these conversations, hopefully you're uncovering things that's working that you can share with the broader group. So youth convention, for example, when you come to youth convention, we recently had ours, and it was so cool because the P7 booth was ran by P7 missionaries.
Cool.
That's great work, and that is an amazing testimony. And I know in the Wisconsin district, you guys just did some incredible things, but I love to see that, because at the end of the day, we're empowering those students as Project 7 district coordinators to say, hey, we believe in you from a district level, because that student is sitting there saying, wow, I'm getting to rub shoulders with the youth president, with the speakers, and the project coordinators for all of the district. And here we are, and all we're trying to do is empower them to go take the gospel to the world. And so, as he mentioned, thank you for serving, but this is the opportunity of a lifetime to impact a generation. And like, while we say, everybody has this opportunity, everybody should be impacted, as a Project 7 district coordinator, you get to pick up the phone and call youth pastors and hear what is happening in their youth group. You get to hear what's going on, because at the end of the day, as Seth mentioned, we love to get those questions, but we want them to go directly to you to say, hey, you know what, here's what's working. And did you know that this is working in a church just 6 miles down the road from you? And they may be like, I didn't even know there was a P7 club.
Right.
And again, it brings that awareness and that ability to say, well, if this student can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And you have that capability as a district coordinator to say, hey, we can drive some some amazing results through P7 in our district.
Yeah, there was one year. Actually, I got a text this morning from a district coordinator, and a youth pastor in his area had texted him a picture of a P7 club, and he forwarded it to me, and he's like, "This made my morning. I'm on cloud nine this morning because I got to see that." And so, you have the opportunity to celebrate the things that God is already doing. Of course, you want to encourage change. You want to encourage students to take it to the next level. But as a district coordinator, you can get plugged into what's already happening around your district and celebrate that and highlight that. So something that you can do, just one idea we did a few years ago in Wisconsin, Project 7. There's a lot of Project 7 clubs that were relatively new. And so the youth president brought up every P7 missionary onto the stage at a Winter Youth Convention, and he made a public statement, and he said, "Thank you for being a P7 leader." And he looked at everyone else in the crowd, and he's like, "This is what saying yes to God looks like."
Yeah.
And it's not to say that everyone else that's sitting there is not saying yes to God, or they're but he when we use positive peer pressure, and we say this is one example of what saying yes looks like. P7 leaders were proud of you. P7 leaders were grateful. Thank you for serving in your school. Thank you for doing this. Someone else is going to be in the crowd, and they're going to be like, "Man, if he can do it,
I can do it.
I can do it."
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that we try so hard to put pictures on our social media pages of other P7 clubs, is because that has been a trend that other people have said, "I saw this person in my district do it, and so I want to do it too." So highlight the things that's happening.
Yeah.
Hype those people up. I mean, you see them at a sectional or district event. Make sure that you're making a big deal about it. Introduce them to someone. "Hey, have you met Nathan? This is a P7 coordinator. Hey, come over here and meet Nathan. He's leading a P7 club in this school." Make it a big deal.
Yeah.
And so you're the champion. And so if you connect with those people, connect with those youth pastors that are leading those kids, because we would love to know if there are youth pastors or students that they have a question, or like, "Man, if we only had this resource, it'd be helpful." Sometimes we don't hear that.
We would love it.
And so we would love for there to be this information from you guys to say, we would want more of this, or a lesson on this, or can you put this out? We would love that. So one thing, so we talked about the district events, like the camp, the conventions. These are opportunities for you to be in their face at these events. We definitely would encourage you, if the youth president would allow it, make a big booth.
Yes.
Get a huge booth.
Youth presidents allow it.
Yes, please, please do. Bring resources, buy some merch from the P7 store, and give out some of them, at the event. But you want to have a presence. And so we have created resources just for you, just for P7 district coordinators, to help you set up your booth at your camp or convention. So you want a stand-up banner. We've got a few different variations of stand-up banners that will send you the design files for free, and all you got to do is upload it and then pay for it to get it shipped to you.
Yeah.
If you want a table banner, we've got the resources for that you can order. Unfortunately, we don't have the resources to just send those out. We would love to, but every design that we have, we want to give you for free. We will make sure that if you haven't had it already, we'll make sure that you receive we have a P7 coordinators Dropbox that has hundreds of images on it, social media, design files for invite cards. We have PowerPoint slides, presentations, just for you, just for P7 coordinators. And so if you don't have that Dropbox, send us a message and let us know, because we will send that to you, because we constantly update that with things. We want to make sure that we are feeding you all of the right information, all of the most pertinent things, so that you can go and have the conversation with your kids, because we believe in you.
Yeah, and two other things real quickly that I think you have an opportunity to do. At camps or conventions, I would love, and what I saw at our camp our convention was, our P7 coordinator was bringing coffee to the P7 missionaries.
That's cool.
Like, talk to your youth president, maybe see if you can get $100, something, just to make them feel special. Because I can tell you this much, our P7 people were like, "Let's go and get free coffee this morning. Let's go."
Yeah.
So just do something like that. And then the other thing that I would say is, if you've got a camp or a convention coming up, call this guy and get a video directly messaging to directly to your district and to your students.
I'll do it.
He would love to give your students a shout out by name.
Yes.
Like, hey, we're so thankful for all the P7 clubs in the Wisconsin district. Here are the P7 missionaries. Like, how cool would that be?
I'll do it.
Like, those students would feel so special. And plus, you could probably get them in there a little early to service too. Like, we know how students walk in at 7:05, 7:01, but they can be there a little early. But again, it would be amazing, and that positive peer pressure to say, well, hey, if they're getting a shout out from Seth, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
Because again, it's all about answering that call.
Yes.
But here's some practical tips you guys can do to help build the momentum in your district. And lastly, I'll end with this, but if there's a sectional event happening in your district and you have P7 missionaries and you might not be able to make the rally or whatever it is, call that sectional youth director, youth presbyter, youth, whatever you call it in your district, and say, hey, can we just highlight one P7 missionary for 2 minutes?
Mm-hmm. It's good.
And if their youth pastor needs to do it, just work the logistics out. But there should be a P7 push at every single sectional rally, every single district event, because at the end of the day, you're building students who are taking the gospel to the whole world. So again, I think that's just a really practical point.
One more thing, then we'll wrap it up here. But we will make sure to send you a list of all of the P7 clubs in your district. If you could just at minimum verify that is a P7 club, call the pastor, call the youth pastor, just verify they are still active. And if there are other P7 clubs that you're aware of that you've connected with that are not on the P7 map, get them registered.
Yeah.
Get them registered, because we want to make sure that we're accurately describing how many P7 clubs we have.
Yes.
We don't want to undershoot or overshoot it. So verify all the clubs are active. We don't want to, to report wrong information. If there's a club that's registered but it's not a P7 club, they gave it up 2 years ago. We don't want that on the map. On the flip side, if there's someone that's meeting that's not registered, make sure to get them registered. And so we will send you a list, a spreadsheet of all of the clubs in your district. And if throughout the year you want updated registrations of those, it's a very easy report that we can pull. We're happy to send it to you, and it'll have the pastor's name, what school it is, all of the students' information, the pastor's information. It's all part of the registration process. So follow up with those churches to make sure that it's still going. And then as you're following up, you're creating relationships with those churches. Find out if there's anything that we can do.
Good. Yeah.
Find out if there's anything that we can do, and we're happy to give it for you. So thank you again, once again. Thank you for saying yes to this role.